Hello, Grape family. Welcome to another weekly update video. The current market conditions are kind of looking bleak right now, so I hope that you're all preparing yourself for what's about to come. Without further ado, let's get started with the video. First up would be the price of grape. Grape's downtrend continued to $0.22. After touching $0.22, we saw some buy pressure coming in. With that buy pressure, grape almost reached $0.26. Right now, it seems that the price has stabilized in that range. So, what do you all think? Does grape have reached its bottom? Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's move on to the share token, that is wine. Wine almost had the same pattern compared to grape, where it continued its downtrend to almost $11, and then we saw some buy pressure coming in. After that buy pressure, wine managed to reach $17. Right now, wine too seemed to be stabilized at $15. Do you all think wine has reached a bottom now or not? Comment down your thoughts. I have some very important things to share regarding Vinium. Vinium, in my opinion, should definitely help grape and wine. The launch is expected soon, so let's see how that goes. That is it for the tokens. Let's now move on to the NFTs. The first one would be the Winery Collection. The floor price of Winery Collection is sitting at 1.99 AVEX. The floor price of the Winery Collection is down compared to the last week. This might be because there haven't been any airdrops in the past months given the price of grape. But if you have a good eye, you would know that there are some really nice deals going on around here. Like a goblet that is for sale for 15 AVEX. Vinium should also help the Winery Collection. How, you would ask? Well, there is going to be an option for collateralization of your NFTs. The exact details are yet to be announced. But worry not, I'll make sure to cover it in the upcoming videos. Alright, let's move on to the winemaker's NFTs, that is the Vintners. The floor of the Vintners is sitting at 1.26 AVEX. There have been only few times where the floor price of the Vintners went below 1.5 AVEX. The lowest floor price that the Vintners went was 0.9 AVEX. We are very far from that right now. The floor has been down compared to the last week, and it might be because the listing has gone up. So if you have some spare funds and want to get in on the game, I suggest you keep an watch on the floor price of the Vintners. You could get some very nice deals throughout the day. That is it for the NFTs. Let's move on to other apps of the Grape Finance. First one would be the Wine Press. The total deposits in the Wine Press is sitting at 12,337 WineMem LP tokens compared to the last week of 11,500 LP tokens. That is a nice increase of 800 WineMem LP tokens in a week. A fact that you should know is that almost half of the WineMem LP tokens are locked in the Wine Press. So that is all the liquidity for wine that is locked. Plus the APRs are also decent. Now if you have a lot of wines and you don't know what to do with it, you can definitely put those wines in the Wine Press. Let's move on to the latest addition, that is the Grape Soda Press. For those that don't know, Grape Soda Press is the same as Wine Press. The only difference is that you put Grape X Grape LP tokens. There are a few modifications, like compounding now increases your lottery tickets. So what are you waiting for? The launch of Grape Soda Press was very successful with almost 35,000 Grape X Grape LP tokens deposited in the first week. I think this is the second week running of Grape Soda Press, and the total deposited LPs is already sitting at 76,000 Grape X Grape LP tokens. That is almost double compared to the last week. Moreover, it almost has $100,000 locked in it. If you don't know what X Grape is, I suggest you read the docs by clicking here. It's essentially layers of grape token, which is auto compounding in Magic. So you can earn triple yield by staking in the Grape Soda Press. We shall continue to track the Grape Soda balance like we did for the Wine Press. Another update that I forgot to mention that was added in the previous week was the casino. The slots have now been updated to a version 2 and are fully integrated in the casino. Furthermore, the slot payments are now fully automated, which means now you won't have to wait on team members manually paying you your rewards. The UI for the casino has also been updated a bit, so make sure you check it out. There are some quite interesting games here and some big prizes to win. So awaken your inner degen and get playing. That is it for grapes. Let's now talk about upcoming updates in Grape Finance. First is a few people asked about the PAG health campaign and also about the rebates. LB has said that he wants to resume the rebates again. Rebates have been very helpful for Grape Finance because they burn grape while also earning protocol owned liquidity in the process. A week or two ago, we discussed that the rebates shall resume with some modification to avoid bad players getting all the wine. So let's see what happens to rebates after the updates and modifications. To be clear, there hasn't been any date shared by LB as to when the rebates will resume. So I guess we have to wait for a few more days. That is it for the pack campaign and rebates. Let's now talk about everyone's favorite and much awaited Vinium. Now I would suggest you to get your pen and paper ready because I have a lot of information regarding Vinium. A very interesting question was asked by our community member. The question was, can Vinium be provided as a service to other protocols? Now we need to remember that Vinium will be its own thing, just like Aave and other lending and borrowing protocols. Vinium will be made by keeping the end user like us in mind. To give you an idea, Vinium in its initial stages should somewhat look like this. I'm not talking about the UI of course because this is Aave and not Vinium. But I'm talking about all these single-sided pools where you can either lend or borrow your single assets. This will be one of the initial stages of Vinium. LB has mentioned that he will see how things goes and then move on to the next thing. He simply means he will take feedback from the end user, that is us, that will help improve Vinium. After the launch of the initial single-sided pools, the next step would be the leverage yield farming. There are a very few protocols that offer leveraged yield farming. If you want to know what is leveraged yield farming, then I suggest you take a look at Alpha Amora. It is where you borrow assets against your LPs and then use those assets to make more of those LPs to earn more rewards. So this can be how the leveraged yield farming in Vinium may work. After the first and the second stage, the third step for the Vinium would be permissionless isolated lending pools. It simply means adding tokens of partner protocols to be used as collateral in Vinium. I think this would be the stage that would require more time and more careful consideration. Because we can't just list a token which has like $20 liquidity in it. That one mistake can prove very harmful for Vinium. But worry not, LB has Giga Brain, so I'm sure he will take care of things. Another valued member of our community asked, how will Vinium be separate from the likes of, let's say, Aave or Alpha Hamora? Now what you need to know is that Vinium will not just be a lending and borrowing or just leveraged yield farming protocol. It will be both. After these things, it will also have permissionless isolated lending pools. So that is a different thing on its own. Another thing is that there needs to be competition in the market. Now if you go to DeFi Llama and if you go to Chains and then Avalanche, you would notice that a few big players control a lot of the market. Now if you look at other protocols, you would notice that there aren't many options where you can lend or borrow and leverage yield farm. Vinium will be looking to fill this gap. Filling a gap in the market, if done correctly, can prove very beneficial for Vinium. We shall dive deeper into the technicals of Vinium once it launches. I already talked about 3 stages for Vinium. What if I say there is a stage 4? LB mentioned about automated shorts and automated long positions with one click. So that should also bring in crowd for Vinium. The exact mechanics and details are yet to be decided, but I'll make sure to cover it once more information is available. LB has also mentioned that Vinium will go cross-chain pretty quickly. We are also looking at ZK Sync, which is a layer 2 on Ethereum. So let's see how that goes. The second audit for the Vinium should be done by the end of this week or early next week. So stay tuned for updates. I hope that you didn't get overwhelmed by all the info that was shared regarding Vinium. If you felt confused or overwhelmed, you can go to the Grape Finance server and then go to AMA recaps. Here I write write-ups which are short, simple and concise and easy to understand. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about everyone's favorite game, that is the winemaker. We didn't talk much about the winemaker in previous videos because there weren't many updates that were shared in the AMA for the winemaker game. Okay, so the first and the biggest question is what to do with the vintage token. We all are aware that you can stake your vintage and then earn S vintage. Then you can go to the vineyard, stake your S vintage for wine. It has a APR of close to 1%. But that's just one use case. What about the other ones? So I'm happy to tell you that the team is looking at more use cases for the vintage token. One good thing is that the liquidity for the vintage token is very low, which means we can somewhat keep it stable for some time. LB has also mentioned that lots of things coming with S vintage. He is looking to add the S vintage token in the Grape Casino. That's one use case. Another use case for S vintage that LB was thinking is to create something similar to Soda Press for the S vintage token. So that's another use case for the S vintage token. Moving on, we can see the winemaker game becoming more interactive at each level. The exact mechanics are yet to be announced, so there are no major updates regarding that. But the more you know, the better it is. Regarding new tools, no exact dates have been announced, although there might be some cross promotional rare tools coming in the winemaker game. How many of you are excited for these rare tools? Make sure you keep an eye on the announcements so you don't miss it out. That is it for the winemaker game. Let's now talk about other updates. The first one would be the trading bots that were deployed using the treasury funds. Updates are being released on the earnings of the trading bots on the Twitter of Grape Finance. So make sure that you take a look at this channel in the Grape server. LB has mentioned that he is thinking to put in more funds for the bots that have been working well and shutting down the bots that haven't been working well. Finally, if you still don't know, the revenue from all these bots will be distributed among wine holders. So think no more before buying wine. Of course, not financial advice. Speaking of revenue sharing, let's talk more about it. Now the revenue that is being generated using the treasury funds and the revenue that will be generated through Vinium will be shared among the wine holders. Now how will it be done, you would ask? Well, initially the plan was to create a separate pool where you would stake your wine to earn those rewards. But LB has said that that pool will be integrated into the winery, which means you won't have to stake your wine anywhere else other than winery to earn those extra yield. So you may earn double rewards, that is yield from the revenue and also when grape is above peg. You also need to know that not all of the revenue generated from Vinium will be paid out to wine holders. A few percentages of the revenue will be kept for the protocol, for expenses, debt coverage, and etc. But yes, you may assume that the majority of the revenue should be paid out to the wine holders. Now, if you need an idea on how much fees Vinium can generate, then I suggest you go to this website. Here you can take a look at layer 1s and other protocols and how much revenue they manage to generate in a day or 7 days average fees. Looking at this, you have to decide for yourself how much Vinium will be able to generate. Because right now no one can predict how much Vinium will generate as it hasn't launched yet. But if you take a look at the likes of Aave or Curve, you'll notice that they managed to generate around $100,000 worth of fees in just one day. So let's see how Vinium performs. Speaking of Vinium, Vinium is going to the SmartCon that is happening this coming week in New York, which is a major Chainlink event. And Vinium will be a sponsor there. So if you are in New York and attending the event, make sure you go to the Vinium booth. Steve and NB, who are our core team members, will be present there. The aim for going to this event is to attract non-degent crowd and establish networking for Vinium. Alright guys, that is it for the weekly update. I hope that you found this video helpful. Thank you for watching and see you around in the next weekly update.